Well, hello YouTube. I haven't done a video for a while, face to face with the camera anyway. I haven't done one for a little while. So I thought I'd show you my actual new water cooling kit that I ended up getting. Because my original water cooling kit was just not cutting it, to be truthful. It was having a few issues in the sense of like just trying to keep things cool. I also matched up the fans. They're both 140mm fans. I got two of those on either side of the radiator. Now it's a 280 litre radiator, but I can fit two 140mm fans on each side. So I've got one of the turbojet side, which comes with it, and I got a couple of thermal take ones that I put on the top, which seems to be working better for my cooling efficiency and just makes things a little better. Initially I was using the larger fans on top with a smaller radiator, but it wasn't cutting it, it just wasn't working very well. So in the sense of just, general, my Antec was also having a couple of issues during games that would just completely cut out, which was rather frustrating. I just find it, I'd be in the middle of a game and it would just cut out for whatever reason. I mean, a couple of times I tried to overclock my video card. That may have had a bit of relation to it in some ways, but to be truthful, it was pissing me off to no end, and I think it was obviously a fault with the Antec. But saying that, I have had it more than 2 years, I think. I've had it more than 2 years, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've had it a fair while. I didn't want to return it on the RAM because of just the time factor, and I just rather would go out and buy a new radiator because it's going to eat into my business stuff. So what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a Cooler Master Neptune 280 litre water cooling unit, which is doing a great job so far. I'm not finding any temperature variations that I don't like. Most of the temperatures are pretty cool, and they're pretty on par with what I would expect from that type of radiator. On top of that, I've also got matching fans on the top and the bottom, so things are, air's being pumped out properly now. Whereas I don't believe it was actually being pumped out properly before. Saying that, I may still end up using that Antec radiator at a later date. I don't know. See, I don't know whether it was just a fault with the software possibly, or it could have been related to the software and the overclocking software I'm using for my the overclocking software that I decided I was going to use with my other system, or sorry, my video card, which is MSI's Afterburner, I believe, which was, don't get me wrong, was pretty cool regardless. Anyway, so what we got? That. Now, Antec, look, I'm not going to fault Antec because I've had a few Antec products and I've never had any major issues with them. In the past, I've had Antec cases and stuff, and I've never had any big major problems with the cases and things that I've used with Antec in general. But regardless, I now have this, which looks pretty cool, by the way. 280 litre, runs pretty well so far. I like the block system, or water block on this. It's actually a lot more firmer than my Antec block. I don't know, my Antec block, it didn't seem to always sit that well, to be truthful, and it did sort of annoy me that it didn't sit that well. But it happens. Anyway, I'm going to go with that. That's something that I recently got. Now, I have been mucking around with some overclock settings. What I've actually ended up to do, I've ended up to have to do a bit of customization. I've basically turned one of my cards into a PhysX card. Turned my recording down to, I think it's 1440p, because I was just finding with the 770s it wasn't cutting into being able to actually record at the 4K, record at the full 4K, because there was a lot of problems with just trying to get it to record at that resolution. I mean, not big issues, just mostly frame rate issues, just the drop in frame rates, and it was rather frustrating. So what I ended up doing is I ended up recording at 1440p, and it's still playing the game at 3K at 4K, and I'll show that in menu regardless. But I mean, the game still looks bloody spectacular. Still looks fucking fantastic on 1440p. To be honest and truthful, I was thinking, because I mean, the truth of the situation is, I'm thinking of just cutting my videos down to 1080p because it's just so much easier to upload, in the sense of time to upload and things like that. So what I think I ended up doing is I ended up doing there's a fair few videos I've actually decided or currently doing, which I've been cutting down to 1080p, which I'm finding that that doesn't lag my system out as much. 4K is a big, it's a big thing, and on top of that, it's sort of in its infancy as well. It's very young at this point in time, and it's probably a lot of development is going to need to go into it. Everything else has been working pretty well. No major qualms with 4K. No monitor lag on my monitor. I have noticed a little bit of lag with my. I think it's just because of my video cards might be running a little bit hot or dusty or something. I don't know. I do notice a little bit of lag, but I think it's more related to driver issues. Like I reinstall my drivers and the lag goes away, basically, my NVIDIA drivers, and I'm more putting it down to being an issue with SLI. When you're running something in SLI, there seems to be like micro stutters and tiny little variances that just are a little annoying, but once you sort of even out the kinks and just make things a little bit better, it actually runs pretty well, and it's not overly bad. Then I mean, if you've got a lot of stuff running in the background like I do, because I do everything on the one rig, and I'm on a budget as well. It's going to weigh your system down at some point. It's going to weigh your system down a bit, and it's going to make things go a little slower. At this point in time, it's looking good, it's feeling good. The temperatures are a lot better than they were previously, because I was getting like really annoying temperatures where they would cycle up so much that it was ridiculous. Like the socket we blew like 15 million degrees. Well, it will not. I'm exaggerating. I'm just being exaggerating. But I mean, but it's basically you'd have the not 15 million, but like 15 times or something hotter. The socket would be that much hotter than in comparison with the rest of the actual CPU itself, the core temps. Which I can understand that with the NVIDIA processor I've chosen, it's not the type of processor that does necessarily always run cool. But at the same time, the temperatures I was getting was inconsistent because I had strange behavior coming from my NTEC radiator, my NTEC water cooler. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why or what the hell was going on with that NTEC radiator at all. It was the water cooling in general was just playing up something severe. And it only recently started to do it. It was a recent thing, and it just started to muck around. It pissed me off anyway. And regardless, I went out, I bought this, and now I'm having a lot better temperatures. I'm having a lot better stability. I also worked out a bit of an overclock for my video cards. I had to clock them down to, well, I had them overclocked a good percentage, and then I found that some games, or certain games like, for example, GTA 4, which is one of my main component games which I love, was not running very, very stable. It would crash a lot. I mean, it would just crash on a constant basis. So I went, hell, I'm going to, clock it down. So I clocked it down to about, using the clocks, I turned up each clock to 72%, and that was my sweet spot, it seems. That was my just sweet spot, that I wasn't getting any lag issues or problems with my, basically I wasn't getting any problems with anything. It was more the case that the frustrating part that I was finding initially was just trying to have the fucking thing, working half the time. I mean, yeah, it was a real annoyance. It was more of a case of just, not annoyance, but it was just so many fiddly settings, and I was either in the mood to be fiddling with it, or I wasn't in the mood, or I was just feeling particularly lazy that day, so I didn't feel like fiddling with it. But I finally got all the settings exactly where I would like them, which is the plus side. I've got the settings where I want them now. I probably will end up lowering my videos to 1080p just because recording at 4K, recording at 1440p, it's still a lot of data to upload, and my connection is a piece of shit. To be honest, I'm probably better off at uploading at 1080p, because I know at least with 1080p I can compress it, and I can make it a decent size. So at the end of it, I'm just going to make it all 1080p because it's just so much fucking easier on me, and it makes things a lot more easier, not just to edit, but maybe to edit as well. To edit in combination of editing, and it makes it easier for my internet, which is a piece of shit. which is annoying. If I could upload a 30 gig file, I would. I really would, but no, I don't, yeah, there's just no chance with my internet. My internet is just a piece of ass half the time, so trying to upload anything or anything and everything I try to upload is just bleh. You know, I have to limit things to like 1 gig at most. You know, I mean, okay, you know, long footage and stuff and things like that, I got a lot of footage in there, but I mean, saying that, if I do it in 1080p, at least I know the compression ratio is not going to be too bad, and then maybe the size won't be too bad depending on how long the damn video is. Oh, it's just, it's frustrating. It has been frustrating lately. Just a little bit trying to get everything fixed up with my computer, but now I've got everything fixed up, it's all looking good. The only future upgrade that I'm considering or taking into account at this point in time, future upgrades that I'm considering at this point, I'm thinking, let's see, I'm thinking definitely going, might be definitely going for a case upgrade. I'm using an NZX-T at the moment, which is the Phantom 630, I believe. I'm thinking of getting maybe the Cooler Master Cosmos 2. I don't know. Maybe not. It depends on my frame of mind, and it depends on where, you know, how I'm feeling and whether I feel like building my machine back into the case. At this point, I mean, if I get getting the case, I might not do the build till later. But then saying that, I did rebuild pretty much half the computers in the house and tried to, well, okay, I've rebuilt my nephew's computer, rebuilt the kitchen, I rebuilt the workbench computer. They're all in Cooler Master cases. Plus side on that. I did actually get another Cooler Master case, which was a Cosmos SE. But the problem is that I could not fit all my components in it because my video cards are motherfucking wide. I mean, yeah, you know, the ratio on these things is, yeah. My 770s just would not fit in that case, and I highly doubt I could attempt, but I just don't like my chances. I really don't like my chances of actually fitting it in there. So I figured, fuck it, I'm going to get a bigger case. That's just my opinion. I'm going for it. Fuck it, I'm going for a bigger case. That's what I'm going for. So at some point in the future, I'm going to get a bigger case, obviously. The Cooler Master case is a bit freaking heavy. From what I'm getting, most people say it's about 50 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilograms. I'd actually have to look it up. But well, I don't know. That's what I was looking online anyway. I mean, I don't know the exact kilograms. See, I don't know the exact I don't know what it is in kilograms. So I'd have to actually find out. But somebody was saying, because I was watching a couple of reviews from a couple of other channels that I watch, tech channels, and they said it was about 50 pounds. It's American sort of thing, Canadian sort of thing. So yeah, it came down to it pretty much came to that weight. So at the end of it, yeah, cool. You know, I'm thinking I want to get this case. I'm going to build all this stuff into it. I'm going to make sure it's all good. But at this point, I don't know whether I'll get it straight away or whether I'll get it later. I may consider getting something. I may consider getting it at a later date because of money, budget constraints, and things like that. So you know, I'm not in a rush to get it really per se. But I mean, it would be nice to have all matching cases in the house. Because pretty much everything in the house is, well, not matching, but everything is pretty much Cooler Master now. I've switched all my water cooling units over to Cooler Master. Because I was finding with my dad's computer, the only issue my dad's computer is having at the moment is a hard drive issue, which that's because I'm using a reconditioned hard drive. It's just because that hard drive that particular hard drive didn't want to work. Now, at the same time, think about it, yeah. So, Cooler Master is pretty cool so far. It's not irony in itself, and not just a pun on things. Cooler Master cases that I've used so far, all the ones that I've used so far, they've had no major issues, and they pump out a major amount of air either side. I've also had a lot of Cooler Master spare. I had some spare case fans, so I figured I'd use them anyway. I had a fair amount of spare case fans that were Cooler Master, so you know, why the hell not use all the Cooler Master fans I can use. At this point I may end up getting some more. I don't know, see, it's sort of a toss-up. I may end up getting some more Cooler Master fans at a later date. Maybe in compliance with my case. I'll try to get some Cooler Master fans as well. Might even see if I can come across a few, because there's always different tech places along the way. Probably see if I can actually get it, because I've been coming across quite a few of them anyway. Anyway, I built a few into my nephew's. My nephew's computer is now fixed up, so he's got all these gaming reviews. He can do his bits and pieces he needs to do, be able to play his games, make videos if he wants to for YouTube and things of that nature. My dad's computer, unfortunately, is still sort of in the beta stage, I could say, because at the moment his hard drive is having issues every time that it tries to boot. It pretty much gets stuck on the Windows logo, which, to be honest, I think it's just down to the hard drive. It's basically because the SATA cables are brand new, so I can't see there, and the board is brand new, so I can't see there being a problem with the board at all, to be truthful. I'd put it more down to actually being the hard drive being the issue, because it's the only it's really the reconditioned component in the computer mainly. And I'll keep the two other storage drives in there, which are 300 and something gig or something like that. The OS drive's only like 80 gig, which, to be honest, that's ample amount of room for what my dad does anyway. But what I want to do with my dad's, probably most likely what I'll do with his, is I'll take his out, clone his hard drive onto a new SSD that I'm getting, which I got some King Fast SSDs. One for my nephew and one for my dad. At this point, I don't know whether I'll install them straight away. It will depend. My nephew's not having any major hiccups with his computer at the moment. If he does develop hiccups in the future, he seems to be okay at the moment. I think he's using a Western Digital Blue 500 gigabyte drive, which seems to be doing okay for him, and there's no big lag. He hasn't had any big lag spikes or issues and things like that. So no big issues at the moment. One of his drives did die. I have that drive. It didn't die. Sorry, correct me. The case. It was an external drive. It was an external Maxter, but it's actually, when I pulled the case apart and got the drive out, it was actually a Seagate 500 gigabyte drive. I have to get an external case for this and put an external case on this and then hook it back up to his computer. But that will come later, a bit later. I'm going to see it, but I'm still going to say I have to see the case because it's got data on it for him, or data that he's got on there. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to hook that into an external case. I was quite surprised, but yeah, the Maxter case, basically the power just totally started screwing itself, and pretty much the hard drive wouldn't power up. I stuck this into my hard drive dock, which is a A-Stone hard drive dock, right on my USB 3.0. I stuck it in there, and straight away it works. So I also ran a couple of error checks on it, a couple of tests, and it's working fine. So there's nothing actually wrong with the hard drive. It's just the damn enclosure that died. So I'm pretty much got to get a new enclosure for that. So I'm going to get a new enclosure for that. Got two new SSDs, as I said. They're King Fast. I mean, they're 128 gigabytes each. So I mean, basically they're designed more for just, to run your OS, like whatever you have, Windows 7, Windows 8. I'm looking forward to Windows 10, which I've had some interesting tidbits and reviews and looks at. I've had a little spark of a look around the tech channels, just checking out some of the newer stuff that's coming out with it, and it doesn't look that bad. It looks interesting, and it looks like Microsoft is actually listening to their customer base this time, which is fantastic, by the way. That just shows that there's positive flow there when they're actually listening to people. Games. What games am I looking forward to coming out at this point in time? Major game, which is obviously not going to be till next year, which is GTA 5, and I've been saying GTA 5 for so long. I'm waiting for that, obviously. The Evil Within. There's a couple of new games that looked interesting. The Evil Within, which I actually haven't had a look at to see what it's like as a game. Just been doing. I haven't really actually looked at it to see. Played it. I haven't even played it for that matter. But it looks interesting. Some of the footage that I've seen, the trailers, I've seen at least one or two trailers for it, and it's cool. Well, it seems cool. What else? I'm probably going to do a combination of different combined gameplays. which I've done a few. I've actually done a few. I've recorded probably about 10 minutes. Well, it's probably about 10, 16 minutes, depending on the one. Maybe a couple of them were 20 minutes. Done some gameplay run-throughs of. That's a good question, actually. That is a good question of what I've actually done gameplay run-throughs of. I'll actually tell you what I've actually done at the moment. Games that I've played. Let's have a look at my Bandicam footage. Well, I'm actually using Shadowplay right now. Duke Nukem Forever, LA Noire, which I did a shorter one of that one, just basically me running around doing 4K. Now, I don't know, I might end up redoing that one. I've got Left 4 Dead 2 as well. So I did a couple of those with Left 4 Dead 2. I was doing test ones as well. Saints Row the Third, which I was just running around and doing random shit. Serious Sam 3, which I did a little bit of that, just shooting generally, you know, mucking around with it. So Serious Sam 3, Saints Row 3, Left 4 Dead 2, LA Noire, and Duke Nukem Forever. What I'm going to try and do is get maybe some. Probably most likely get some GTA 4. Then other games that I may gameplay. I looked at a couple of things like Hawken and a few other. There's a couple of things I've actually downloaded and I haven't actually started playing. Carmageddon Reincarnation. I will definitely show some footage of that. I haven't really gone into that immensely. What else? Maybe some like little gameplay footage, but I don't know. Maybe some Metro Last Lights. It's always a good game to test benchmarking anyway. What else? Shadow Warrior, maybe. I mean, I've done all this stuff initially, but it's just all the stuff. Some of this stuff you're going to see how it runs on 4K, and to be honest, I'm going to see. I'm trying to get the best performance, so it's basically me fine-tuning my settings to 4K, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what I have to do at this point. Fine-tune the settings of each individual game to 4K, because I want to be able to run it in 4K, even if I'm recording it at 1080p. I still want to be able to do it at 4K just to see what my computer performance is generally like, because I've got a system going where I've got Bandicam running in the background, which is going to show the frame rate. So you can sort of judge for yourself whether it's going to be a good bad frame rate depending on the game, of course. And then you can also actually see that the game is capable of running in this resolution, even if it is at 1080p. Which is rather frustrating that I can't do it at its full potential recording, but yeah, shit happens. And I can't really avoid I can't really avoid it, unfortunately, just because of the fact that my internet is just a big piece of arse when it comes to trying to upload anything or do anything remotely bandwidth intensive. The Bureau, Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I might even do some Call of Duty Ghosts as well, a little bit of that maybe. Maybe some Counter-Strike, throw that in there for good measure. Jericho, which I might have to do some Dead Island, because I haven't really mucked around with Dead Island for a while. I've got Dead Space as well. I can't do Dead Space 2, unfortunately, because I think I have to reactivate that with damn EA. I hate DRM, I really do. Deus Ex, Dino D-Day, Doom 3. Doom 3 BFG edition. I'm definitely going to try that. Duke Nukem the original. Look, Duke Nukem 1. Well, I can't really do that at 4K now, can I? I will try Duke Nukem 3D Megaton edition. Mainly because I just want to see if it actually would ever run at that resolution, which I doubt it will. But I've actually seen some modifications that have been done to that game, which surprisingly it can run at a relatively high resolution. So it will probably look like crap anyway. But Fear, I'm going to test that too. Fear, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. I'm definitely going to check that out. Far Cry the original, I could probably get that everywhere on that. Fear 2 maybe. Fallout New Vegas. Half-Life 2. Well, I already know Half-Life 2 runs on the Valve engine, so I've got Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2, so maybe Medal of Honor, because I haven't really done much with Medal of Honor. Obscure 2 and Obscure 1 and Obscure 2, maybe. It depends on whether I can actually get the game to run in that resolution, because I don't think it's actually designed for it. Or it's not. So yeah, I don't want my chance of getting into running that. PlanetSide 2. Portal maybe. Prototype 2. Prototype 1 and Prototype 2. Maybe try those two, but I mean, to be honest, they're not going to run in 4K, because I know, because I've tried to get them to run in 4K. Rage definitely probably most likely will run at that resolution. I haven't got it to run that high before. Probably have to adjust a few settings here and there. What else? Oh man, it's such an annoyance because I can't figure out. Well, obviously Metro Last Light, because I mean that was probably might have a little bit of lag issues, but Jurassic Park the game maybe. How many games? There's a few good games. What else? Wolfenstein, Return of Castle Wolfenstein, which is not going to run in that resolution at all. Rise of the Triad probably will. That's a good game. Resident Evil 6, most likely. Yes, I think I was getting good frame rates with that. Okay. I think there's Resident Evil 5, which is getting good frame rates with that. And Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, might even try a bit of that. I'll show you what that looks like. Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, yeah, Saints Row 2, Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, definitely try that, because I think I was trying that before, but I was having issues with, as I said, my water cooling cutting out. Saw, maybe, I don't know, it depends on whether I really feel the need to actually try it out. Section 8 Prejudice, which does work. I'll try that, I'll just try that out. I've already tried Serious Sam 3 out. Serious Sam HD, probably give that a bit of a go, maybe. I doubt I'll be able to get Star Wars The Force Unleashed to run at that resolution. I'm pretty sure I could probably get Shadow Warrior to run at that resolution. State of Decay, I think by default its resolution is 1080p. It'd be nice if it was higher. I don't think they took into account the higher textures that you would need in this game, the higher textures you could get. Sleeping Dogs, maybe, yeah, try that. Because I'm pretty sure I can actually get that to run on that. What else? I might even have a go at Watch Dogs. Tomb Raider I know will run. Watch Dogs is sort of iffy because Watch Dogs doesn't like an SLI profile regardless of the situation. It's something I've been reading online. I've been reading all these tech support forums and stuff, and just people having the exact same game issue with some games. They just do not like an SLI configuration, or they generally don't like the SLI profiles they're given. And it's rather fucking frustrating. And it's not everything. It's just not all games, and eventually most games get patched or fixed. Either the game gets patched or the SLI profiles get updated to be suitable for the situation. The problem is sort of SLIs and new things, so you know. On top of that, at the moment, you know, you got freaking you basically got Nvidia working with their 980s and their 970 cards at the moment, which are their flagship products right at this moment. And I don't know, I don't think they're really focused on the 770s or the earlier cards at this point in time. They will probably be focused on them at some point, but you know, yeah. But yeah, I mean, they may be focused at them they may be focused more on them later on. But I mean, generally speaking, the 770s are not a bad card. They fill the gap pretty well. I mean, the 970s are the big cards at the moment, but I mean, saying that, there's probably an excess of stock of the 770s and those types of cards out there now, because apparently, from what I'm gathering from Nvidia, the 970s and the 980s have been selling pretty well because of their price point. Apparently, it's because they're cheaper. But I mean, to be honest, Australia never gets any good sense of pricing over here, so our pricing is always shithouse regardless. Which is rather fucking frustrating when it comes to technology, especially in this country. I mean, if you want to get ahead of the curve, you have to be able to get in with the technology, basically. So look, I'm going to leave it there anyway. YouTube, thank you very much. This has been a little video presentation combination, which, yeah, that just rhymes so much. But basically, my new radiator does quite a good job. Very nice. Cools everything really well. As I said, the only future upgrade possibly I could see is maybe a new case, just to make things a little more... See, getting a new case will sort of give me an excuse to do a little more cable management, because I mean, my current case, I'm iffy on whether I should do cable management or where I should be in the mood to do it. Or if I'm really in the friggin' mood, I will do it, but it's only absolutely needed. And I mean, to be honest, there is a little issue. There's a crack on my case, on the plastic, right in between a certain area. So there is actually not the steel part, like the actual steel frame of the case is fine. It's just a crack on the plastic, and I mean that's probably going to annoy me at some point. I'm just going to go, fuck it, I need a new case that's nice and sturdy. So I'll probably end up, look, Cosmos 2 is definitely on my list because it's a sturdy fucking case. You could throw the damn thing. Well, if you can lift it in the first place, you can throw it at somebody and they just get knocked out and the case would still be fine. I should probably end up killing someone, but, you know, it happens. The point that I'm trying to make is, anyway, that there's just that little bit of plastic there that's annoying me, and it's probably going to annoy me to the point where I'm going to turn around and say, fuck this shit, I want a brand new fucking case. So I'm pretty much going to turn around and do that. So, anyway, thank you very much. Please stay tuned, YouTube. I've got more videos coming up. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, if you got suggestions for my channel too, any tech products that you want to know about or information you want to know about, I mean, I'm always researching this stuff myself. I'm feeling and mucking around with it all the time. Please feel free to make a comment or leave comments if you choose to. Alright, thank you very much. Catch you. Bye, YouTube.